was, why would anybody kill Jesus? He healed people. He made people feel better. He made the blind to see, the lame to walk. He encouraged people. He fed people. He never did anything wrong, so why would anybody want to kill him? Since the Transfiguration, Jesus has been telling the disciples, I must go to Jerusalem, and I will be turned over, and I will be beaten, and I will be crucified. But on the third day I will rise. And when Peter tried to argue with Jesus, Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. You're standing in the way of God's plan. Because Jesus was able to see the big picture. Jesus was able to look at what was unfolding, what was being asked of him, and he could look beyond the pain to the joy of resurrection, to the salvation of God's people. But Jesus isn't going to just walk in and say, here I am, crucify me. That's not going to happen. And so, the Pharisees and the chief priests are a part of the plot. Early in Jesus' ministry, some of the chief priests and the Sanhedrin got together and they said, what are we going to do about this man? And Nicodemus, who had visited Jesus at night, the original Nick at night, sorry. Nicodemus said to them, you know, we've had a lot of false messiahs over the year. They come, they spring up, they get some followers, and they're not the real thing, and so it just fizzles away. Just let this guy alone. If he's the real thing, there's nothing we can do to stop him. And if he's not the real thing, it'll just fizzle out. Now, Jesus is the real thing. And he has been gaining more and more followers. And sure enough, he even raised someone who had been dead for 4 days and was already stinky. More people were going to believe. And the chief priests were really worried. Because Judea had a reputation. It was the one place in the Roman Empire you didn't want to be sent to as governor. You know, in the ministry, you don't want to get sent to the church in Outer Podunk. In the Roman Empire, you didn't want to be stuck in Judea because they had a reputation for being rabble-rousers and hard to control. The chief priests had gotten a decent working relationship. They had a puppet king in Herod, and Pilate kind of let them do their own thing as long as there wasn't any trouble. But this Jesus was going to stir up trouble. Because the people were going to get so excited about him, they're going to say, be our king. And if Jesus said, go get your weapons, we're in a revolution. And Rome will come down with that iron fist and we're done. Caiaphas could see that big picture. And seeing that big picture, he said, you fools, this is about our nation's survival. And it's better that this one man die than that we lose the whole nation and more power. He didn't say that, but they kind of knew that. It's better for one man to die. Caiaphas had no idea what he was really saying. For God knew it was better for one man to die for all the people than for each one to pay the penalty for their own sins. So we have Jesus in the middle of this plot. He has known it was coming, and when the chief priest put out the word that anybody knows where Jesus is, you have to tell us, Judas saw his opportunity. If you remember the story of the temptation where Jesus is in the wilderness and the devil is tempting him, at the very end of that it says, and the devil withdrew until an opportune time. And the devil knew it wasn't time yet to go after Jesus directly. But the devil entered into Judas Iscariot, who went to the chief priests and said, how much is it worth to you? And for 30 pieces of silver, he was ready to betray Jesus. It was the plot that God put in motion. At any time, Jesus could have said no. But he laid down his life so that we might have life eternal. It was better for one man to die, the Son of Man, God's only Son, so that we might not perish. Thanks be to God. Let us pray. Holy God, you have given us your blessing. You have given us the gift of your Son. And now we offer ourselves in service to you.